and solve some problems. I'm Kevin Weathers. I'm the CEO and the Messiah of Pay Raise Money Factory, my business online. But I'm not here to talk to you about Pay Raise Money Factory right now. That's to come at a better time.
You know, I was watching
in a time of war, it's not the time to be talking about that.
And Donald Trump stood
We
up
are
there
at
told
war.
me, he said, you're not getting in.
And we are being attacked
Talking about the enemy.
heavily
They're not getting in.
by China,
41,000
Iran, and
people
anybody
there,
else
they're getting in.
who's interested in the new foreign currency over there called the yuan.
Hello, social media, family, Earth Angels.
UAN.
A governor
Somebody check it for
gives an update.
Social media
The
family.
update says
I know there's a lot of great entertainment out there.
it gives the update on coronavirus
We
response.
need to know when to be entertained.
Angels. I just had a thought.
Now I have a rule of thumb,
You know, I was watching TV last week.
and my rule of thumb is
Donald Trump
every time you hear the words coronavirus, substitute the word radiation.
41,000 people there, I think.
Every time you hear the words COVID-19, substitute the word radiation. Every time you hear the words pandemic, substitute the word radiation. And every time you hear the word virus, substitute the word radiation. Now let's reread this. Governor gives update on radiation response. I doubt that. There's no radiation response going on across the globe. It's just not.
China wants that thing.
When there should be radiation response, because that's what they're getting. When China moves the toggle switch forward on this device here and shoots, engages the towers in your backyard and on your ships and causes the towers to malfunction and emit ionizing radiation, acute radiation at that, the worst for the human body. When you get 400 rads of radiation going through you, it's enough to kill 50% of all people. If they decide to give a quick burst of rads of 1,000 rads, it kills everybody in the streets like you see it being played out in the streets of China. Folks, I'm trying to tell you that there's no such thing as coronavirus across all these countries. What is across all these countries is China firing on their towers and causing the towers to emit ionizing radiation. That ionizing radiation turns very quickly into different phases of cancer. There's been reports of people with stage 4 cancer, throat cancer. That means their throat is eat up, and that you got a temperature because you're almost dead. Now, when you go to these little detox stations that no, I didn't mean to call it detox. Detox is what we need. When you go to these little temperature stations that they're wasting all this money on, and they swab your throat or take your temperature, and you got a temperature because you got radiation poisoning. And then they stick that thing down your nose into the back of your throat there and gets a sample. And they take it and they go to the lab with it. And of course, it shows up positive. It shows up positive that you got a temperature. And it also shows up positive that you have something yucky in your throat. Well, they finding some yucky cells that's all eat up. And they calling that cancer, or tumorous, sores and stuff that's developed in your throat from cancer. They're calling that coronavirus. Wrong. That's a misdiagnosis. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to do some research, like watch the film on YouTube, the video. What does radiation poisoning do to your body? Or watch the film on the technology for how they use this joystick as a radio-controlled frequency that sends a signal to the tower. And on the hospital boat out there, the floating toxic disaster hospital that's out there now, it has a tower mounted on it too. And the China and Iran, the radicals, whoever they are frying our people in a microwave the size of a ship. You know what the microwave does to a piece of bologna in 5 minutes? Well, that's what's happening to those people out there. Because those boats didn't have toxic material signs, hazmat signs on the outside. It didn't have the skeleton skull. So they went on in there, and unfortunately, you see their bodies washing up on the shore now. Everybody is contaminating everybody because there's no detox station set up anywhere in the civilian community because it's a war crime for Iran and China to fire a weapon of mass destruction biochemical into civilian neighborhoods anyway in the first place. But I want y'all to know this is World War III because it's happening on American soil. Okay? So let it be known that we are at war. They are using a radio-controlled toggle joystick as a weapon of choice because when they can zap you with radiation and then quickly turn it off, they have a neutral stealth mode on this remote-controlled toggle that makes it one of the best, sneakiest attacks ever because it's invisible. You cannot see the signal that comes from your cell phone. You cannot see the signal that goes to a remote control car. It's invisible. So they made up a story and said, oh, that virus is traveling the world quickly. China killed their own people, their own white Negroes, the poor people, the people that struggle, the people that are the homeless, the eyesores, they just got rid of them. Just like that. Zapped their own tower. They zapped their own tower. Now, my God, and I say my God, and when I say my God, I mean your God if you believe in Jesus. God sits on high, perch. Jobs 22:12. The highest of heavens, and God sees everything. And God revealed to me what went on in Wuhan, China, when I was asking God, how can I stop this virus? I was thinking it was coronavirus too, because that's what they said it was. And I watched the news, and I believe everything I heard, I was hook, line, and sinker too until God spoke to me and told me that, oh no. What they started to do was attack Germany and Italy and Rome and Syria. I don't know if they attacked Syria or not. Syria probably their friends. They started attacking every country all across through there because they were trying to kill two birds with one stone. They was trying to cause people to quarantine, which makes your economy stagnant. When you close essential businesses, there's no money flowing. So if there's no money flowing, there's a lot of people that can't pay the rent, including the big wigs like the Trumps and the Warren Buffetts, and they got great big bills to pay. So if they're not getting any business, then that big mortgage is going to be there to take what they had in the bank. You follow what I'm saying? And if that happens long enough, it can go broke too. So that's what China's trying to do. They're trying to make everybody else a third world country as they attack all countries' towers to make it appear as if there was a pandemic, a virus spreading. No, it wasn't a virus. It was radiation from these towers emitting and killing people, sometimes 1,000 one day and 1,000 the next day. It's ionizing. Here's the drawing right here. All right, so what China did is they killed their own people right there, shot that tower. Then they started shooting Africa and India and Italy and Rome. And then USA, all 50 states hit tower. Israel, Germany, Japan, Australia. They hit Canada. They hit everybody. Brazil. Like I said, they hitting everybody because they're trying to make their stock markets crash. And if they can make their stock markets crash, then they can make their economic dollar decrease so that their yuan becomes the most powerful currency in the world. That's their goal. But they was killing two birds with one stone is what they're doing. But it's toxic radiation that they're exposing everybody to by breaching these towers. Be advised. I'm Kevin Weathers. I'm the CEO and the Messiah Pay Raise. This is what God saw. Let's get it. We need to disconnect our towers, though, so that they can't attack us, okay? We want the cable companies to do that.